I remember at the beginning of this year, the Lord tells me it's very key. It's very key for the church to know the times that they are living in. You see, the church for long has waited to hear news from the world. And then you have believers that have conditioned themselves to go by what they see in the news or hear in the news, and they never take the trouble to know what heaven has to say.
Correct. That transcends this reality.
Of the earth being removed.
Maybe the earth being removed is kind of foreign to you, but say, even if thieves flood this community that I live in, you see, as in you can define something that would ordinarily cause your heart to tremble. Till now your area is known to have a lot of thieves and thugs and crowbar wielding guys who want to take people's lives and people who come and kill women. And says all of those things do not rob me of peace. Because in him, I have a security that is not there because I left Weyogerere or Wise. I went to Kololo and now my gate has Umbwakari. You know? Dogs, beware of dogs, you see. That kind of thing. And then now I feel like I'm secure. But then you take me back to why he said, and then you see the peace of God.
Hallelujah.
Beyond anything of God, health. Health is beyond just putting on a face mask and sterilizing. Sterilizing. Sterilizing your face mask, what, not touching soft parts. When I don't touch soft parts, but it is beyond that. Health is defined, but you see, he says, who has believed? Who has believed? And to whom has the arm of the Lord been revealed? You see, now, it's a reality that is revealed. You have seen that his stripes were not just received as him, independent of Gamba Jesus suffered so much. You are seeing how, you know, it's funny, and I want to relate this to what I've just said, that when somebody watches a movie, say that the actress got cancer and died, somehow they become fearful that they will also what? Get cancer.
Maybe they even have some symptoms.
What? You know, even I felt that what? You know, and now all of a sudden, somebody's reality that they saw in a movie becomes their reality. They watch a horror and they see a woman who was staying alone in the house and, you know, somebody crept in and came and every time it's night, they're like, ooh, man, things are bad, you know.
The door?
I am not in Kololo. I am in some kafunda somewhere. Will I be safe? Now you see, the reality of Jesus' torment, you can literally see yourself participating in it. That when he died, you died with him. When he was afflicted, you were afflicted with him. Just like you died in Adam, you died in the last Adam, in Christ. You see, you when he received stripes, you can guarantee that healing is your eternal, health is your eternal portion. Health, divine health. And now all of a sudden, that in him becomes a stronger reality to you than the mountains are in their place, everything is in its position, place, what? The economy is doing well, the leaders are making good decisions, the army is not revolting, people are not rioting, my shop is safe, you know, everyone is provided food. Now you really transcend that. transcends that. You become like Elisha. Armies surround you and says, that more are they.
That on our side.
Elisha. What is what? Huh?
Reality
Was
is
your tea spiced with something? Because, man, I just see you and I. Do you know there are people who even would see that reality of the chariots of fire in the spirit and still be more impressed with the physical army? And that's the sad challenge. That was what deprives you of being in the spirit. It's not that you do not see the arm of the Lord. The problem, the challenge is you are more impressed.
That is why Jesus is telling the disciples and those that were gathered with him that when you begin to see these things, lift up your head, for your redemption comes nigh.
Okay.
He would have told them, study what is happening.
Trends.
Study the trends and understand what's going on.
You need to know when to hold them.
You need to know when to fold
them. You need to know when to walk away. And you need to know
when to run. You see?
When you're with condiment, you never count your money. There will be time enough to count it. You see, and that's all people know. That's what they've been taught. That's how they've restricted their lives to it. If I shake your hand, I might get COVID. Let me tell you, even if you got it, you will not die.
Hallelujah.
That may sound controversial. Let me tell you, the reality of health was not given to how well you eat, how well you exercise, how well hygiene is important and all these things, eating well and all these things.
And exercise.
But you see, when it came to matters of your health,
yes,
God devoted your welfare to the stripes of Jesus.
Hallelujah. Yes.
He said, this one I'm not going to leave it to them. Or to brush their mouth and what, and brush your mouth, please. Okay? I'm not saying don't brush your mouth. Bathing, bathe, please. Sterilize, please sterilize. You understand? It is beyond all sterilizing. It is a stripe. Oh.
Hallelujah.
And you must see it. It must impress you as much as a horror impresses you. You know? Or like I have my good pastor friend, after he has watched Donnie Yen, he also feels like man. He can pull moves and what. You see, now, what Jesus did needs to impress you when you're like, man, who is against me? Who can be against me?
What will I be afraid of?
Hey.
After I am convinced of this reality, of I'm in him, he is my refuge.
Correct.
What is there to fear? What is there to be afraid of?
The name of the Lord is
a strong tower. Where the righteous
run
into it and they are safe. What else is there in the world to fear? But because now...
What about unemployment?
What is there to fear about unemployment?
How will I pay my rent?
You see, that's the thing. When you begin... unemployment becomes an issue when you begin to... when you allow unemployment to paint for you a different reality. That because I'm unemployed, how will I be able to pay my bills? In case something happens.
So employment, is employment paying my bills?
Employment, you need to understand that, you see, Solomon, I like the way Solomon says it. He says that it is the grace of God for man to work. And it's also his grace for man to enjoy the fruit of his labor. You understand? That it's still the grace of God.
Enjoying the fruit of your labor is a grace of God.
It's a grace of God. It's not because or I'm entitled to. It's the grace of God.
So you're saying someone can be in a place where by worldly standards they are unemployed. They have no visible means of income or whatever. And yet this grace of God to enjoy life
Yes.
is still present, available, accessible
Who
to
said,
them.
who said that God needs a job to take care of you? Does God need a job to take care of you?
Doesn't God help those who help themselves?
That's a cannot saying. It's a worldly. It's a worldly saying that God helps. It's nowhere written in the Bible.
Now, we are not encouraging you not to work. Do you understand? Because
Yes.
the scriptures also say, let him who does not work not eat. But you see, you may find yourself in a place where you cannot work.
Yes. Now,
And
when
it's
you
not
find-
your liking, but you cannot work.
When you find yourself in that place, do not allow that unemployment dictate to you a certain life that is not in Christ. What do I mean? You see, even in your state of unemployment, you are in Christ. And he has promised to take care of his own. He says he will never leave you, he will never forsake you. He says he will supply all your needs according to his riches in glory. Even in that state of your unemployment, he will supply your needs. You understand?
Correct.
It's when someone begins to allow this situation of unemployment, cause them to enter a certain place where they are seeing things going down.
The unemployment caused them to see.
To see.
And you see, if you don't arrest things at that point,
At that point.
what happens in your life is not because you're unemployed. It is because you saw.
You saw. You believed.
You believed, you saw. You saw yourself dying because of that disease. You saw your funeral. You saw how your children and your wife were crying. Yeah? The devil gave you an impression of getting an accident. You saw the accident. You made it. And it's not just one time where you met and it happens to you. It's the giving of yourself to
You
it.
give yourself to it. You yield to it. You see, those thoughts.
You know, I was just thinking of also how sometimes those things make you approach God to earn from the Lord something.
That is it. That is
And
it.
that disqualifies you still.
That
Because
is
I was just thinking of Martha and Mary. Jesus goes to their home. Okay?
One
Now,
sits.
one sits and listens to the words of Jesus.
Yes.
The other is working for Jesus. Okay? She wants to impress him. She wants to bless him with a meal. She wants to do something that will make him happy, whatever her motives are. Jesus addresses her when she says, tell this one to come and help. Jesus addresses her. He says, your issue is not help. Your
You have
issue
chosen
is that you were troubled about
many
many
things.
things. Literally, he said, you were pulled by rent, you were pulled by children. Abana banasoma batya. Oh, how will this happen? Tunaliachi, tunayambalachi. And all these things says, that is, you are troubled about many things. Then he said, this Mary has chosen the better part.
Which means there were two parts.
Hey.
And Martha chose the part of being troubled about with many things.
Actually, she did not choose. I actually think that for her, she was like, let me work for him. Let me impress him so that he can help me in these areas and bless me. You see, because some people don't understand the whole thing of freely given.
Yes.
Freely given. You see, the people who struggled to receive from the Lord the most seem to be those who understood the scriptures and the law and the word. Why? Because they were always in a place of like, how can, prostitutes and wicked men just get it just like that? Because they were like, no, you must earn it.
We have earned it.
And you must work for it. The Pharisee and the other man who stood in the temple, and the Pharisee said, I tithe. I fast every week. I work.
And the sinner is like,
And the sinner is like, you know what, God?
I have nothing to show.
I really can't.
I can't.
If you don't deliver me, it is game over. Literally, that's what he said. Now, some of you come to a place where you are like, no, let me pray and pray. and pray. Osanga, I will kuweza enough
prayer.
prayers and present them to him and say, let me bless you. The kingdom of heaven is the domain of heaven's influence
Yes.
on this earth. What we are called to is to have such an experience of a reality called heaven that it does not become real when we quote unquote die.